DMX tried to warn us. DMX was speaking out against the industry a long time ago. Check this out.
Just the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the f I want because nobody can finish me.
That's the
The industry wants it, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls and where they survive. The industry don't give a f about you, but the industry could make a dime without you.
What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, nigga, straight up.
I realized that, you know what? This is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agent.
DMX had been warning us all along, and no one was listening. Years ago, he spoke out about the dark side of the music industry. Not just shady deals or bad contracts, but something deeper and far more disturbing. He didn't name names at first, but he made it clear. There were powerful people doing things behind closed doors that could ruin your soul. And according to DMX, one of those names was Diddy. At the time, people brushed it off. They said DMX was just bitter, high, or out of control. But what if he was telling the truth? He once said, "This is God's country, because I met the devil here." A powerful line, and he meant it. He believed he was battling evil forces inside the very industry that made him famous, and he wasn't alone in that fight. Another bold voice started to echo his warnings, comedian Katt Williams. But that wasn't the whole story. Katt Williams didn't just agree with DMX, he lived it. Like DMX, Katt says he faced real consequences for speaking out. He was arrested over 30 times in just a few years, and he believes most of it was no accident. He called it a witch hunt, designed to silence him for exposing the truth. At one point, cops even took his kids from his office, not his home, claiming it was child endangerment. But Katt says the charges were bogus and part of a bigger plan to tear him down.
As the cops, allegedly found some.
Yeah, they always find. I never leave without. I'm on the middle of an interview, sir.
Sorry about. They found drugs now. That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no. Weed is not a.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's safe for kids to be around guns and stuff like that? I mean, I'm just curious.
How do you keep this kid safe without? They were in a lockbox that the police broke.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm saying if the police come in and raid my place and break into my gun boxes, you're gonna find guns. But these aren't. Well, I'm not in a gang. What difference does it make?
Now, you were actually stopped for this and let go because you have a license for it.
No,
right?
This is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office, not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office,
that's an issue.
I must be the most terrible black dude. Because here's the whole thing. You're gonna charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Because it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my babies? Yikes.
Finish up, man. Do you have any resolutions or something you might do different next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna be white next time. In my next life, I'm Caucasian, and I ain't taking no for an answer. Let me explain something to you. I know it's people doing poorly in this country.
Yeah.
And they shot Trayvon Martin dead for looking kind of like I look.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X ended up dead for telling the truth. So as a comedian, I don't think it won't happen to me. I think they've thrown me in jail 36 times in 36 months, and I think you've never seen me in a court of law. That means they're effing with me. And today, they crossed the line, because now they took my babies.
All right, man. Well, Katt, we wish you luck, man.
And luck is unnecessary. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you, brother.
He also shared how the industry works behind the scenes. He claims some artists are forced to trade favors, sexual or otherwise, for fame, money, or radio play. And just like DMX, he named Diddy as a major player in that system. Katt called out the same pattern of abuse and control, saying the industry rewards silence and punishes truth. But it gets even darker, because DMX didn't just warn us. He said he met the devil himself. DMX wasn't speaking in metaphors when he said he met the devil. In multiple interviews, including one with Dr. Phil, he claimed the devil approached him 3 times. Each time he knew it wasn't just temptation, it was a test. DMX said the offers were clear: power, success, even peace, but at a cost. He believed those offers came from dark forces working through the industry, and he refused to play along. He also talked about a life-changing moment in Arizona. At first, he saw it as a peaceful place, but something happened that made him say, "I met the devil in God's country." He didn't name names, but many believe he was describing an encounter with powerful people, maybe music execs, who wanted him to compromise his values. And while some dismissed his words as rambling, others are now starting to see the bigger picture, especially as more dark stories about Diddy are coming to light, and what happened next would make everything clearer. An old interview resurfaced where DMX said Diddy was R-wording his artists. Some tried to say he meant financially, but his tone told a different story. With the recent lawsuits and disturbing claims against Diddy, people are now questioning if DMX meant exactly what he said. He wasn't alone. 50 Cent once said Diddy asked to take him shopping. Others have made similar claims. Katt Williams even said some artists were doing whatever it took just to get radio play. DMX warned that this wasn't about music anymore. It was about power and control. But the deeper you look, the more it seems like DMX and Katt were risking everything just to tell the truth. And it didn't stop there. DMX didn't just warn us about Diddy, he called out the entire system. In his song, The Industry, he broke it down line by line. He said the industry didn't care about talent, only control. They wanted artists to dress a certain way, talk a certain way, and follow orders. If you didn't obey, you were pushed out or destroyed. DMX declared, "I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry." That line hit hard because it meant he refused to sell out.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry, but you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, hate, but I dare you to try to take a thing off my plate if you ain't got a strong mind. The industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. Industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a about you. But the industry couldn't make a dime without you.
Katt Williams echoed the same message. He said the industry doesn't just blacklist you, they try to break you. Arrests, media smears, setups, they'll do anything to silence a voice that refuses to bow down. Katt even joked that in his next life, he'd come back white because the double standard is so real. Both he and DMX were painted as unstable, while others with darker secrets were celebrated. And then came the moment that connected all the dots. That moment came when people began revisiting DMX's words, realizing he may have been right all along. For years, he warned that artists were doing unspeakable things for deals. He hinted that rappers in Diddy's circle were bending over for contracts and doing whatever it took to stay in favor. DMX even called out Ja Rule, claiming he had inside info that Ja was involved with his male stylist. At the time, people laughed it off, but now those same stories are being taken more seriously.
Subject, you gonna touch on this or just like you just going at him?
About him being a homo, you know he be too, right?
No.
I was styling his clothes. I got the inside information, man. I was styling his clothes for one of them shows. Got him ecstasy on one night and him.
No, dog.
Yeah, Ja Rule was niggas. I'm telling you, dog. Oh my mama. Told me that himself. He said, yeah, I was with Ja, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he was all ecstasy up, so he.
What?
Whoa.
What?
It was crazy. Yeah, man. That shit, they walk around with a bag of them pills, man. Talk about me, you can't be serious. That X is everything. Get it? X is everything. Ah, me.
Yo, this is a big statement you making here, man. You throw it.
Yeah, man, Ja Rule's nigga, straight up. He's.
This is
out there that wants to give your man Ja Rule some X and he'll you.
Katt Williams backed it up with his own experiences. He said DJs were being paid off, and some artists were trading more than just money for radio spins. He exposed what he called a new breed of rapper, willing to cross any line for fame. Suddenly, all the wild claims from years ago started to sound like warnings, but that wasn't the end of it. What happened during Katt's own legal troubles raised even more red flags. Katt Williams says his legal issues weren't just bad luck. They were part of a plan to shut him up. He claims he was arrested over 30 times in 36 months, often without real charges sticking. One of the most painful moments moments came when police took his children, not from his home, but from his office. Katt says it was child endangerment with no proof, calling it a witch hunt. He had adopted 7 kids and raised them for over a decade, yet they still came after him like he was dangerous. And it didn't stop there. Katt was arrested alongside Suge Knight in 2014 for allegedly attacking a paparazzi, but he later revealed the full story, saying the woman was filming Suge's 5-year-old son while he used the bathroom behind a dumpster. Katt said they were protecting the child, not committing a crime.
I saw where you and Suge got arrested, right? You and Suge got arrested, is that true?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Like, and
What were we doing?
allegedly it had something to do with like some type of camera or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just sure. I'm just saying this is what I read.
I'll tell you the story, and you tell me,
the story.
then does that change how you frame this?
Okay.
So, we have a meeting with a hologram company, which is going to go into a licensing deal on some holograms. This is in Beverly Hills. So now there's a rodeo, and behind that is an alleyway where you park your vehicles. Mm-hmm. That's where we are. Suge has brought his son with him who's 5 years old. And before we go into this meeting, Suge's son runs behind the dumpster and urinates. And a lady films his penis out, peeing behind the dumpster. And then says, oh, I thought that was Katt's kid. So yeah, that's what happened.
See, this is
so
why
understand, we were facing 20 years, Suge and I. 20 years for that. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is Beverly Hills and it's all on camera, they had no problem sending us up the river when we couldn't have possibly done what was being said. That lady said that she got jumped on by me.
These events showed a pattern. Truth-tellers like Katt and DMX were targeted, while others who played along stayed safe. But what happened with DMX next revealed something even deeper. DMX often spoke about battling demons, not just personal ones, but spiritual ones too. In his interview with Dr. Phil, he shared that he'd had 3 direct encounters with what he believed was the devil. He said the offers were tempting: money, power, peace, but they always came with a price. DMX believed those moments were real tests, and he passed by refusing to sell his soul. His lyrics often reflected this struggle, with lines like, mow the grass to see the snakes, meaning you have to clear out the lies to see who's really out to get you.
I want to take a look at some of the lyrics from your song.
How about I pick the lyrics?
Who We Be. I think you'll like these lyrics. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game.
I like what you said. Yeah. Did it.
The friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, these studios, the shows. Why don't you just read it? I like the way
shows, it comes and it goes. The jealousy, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave him the slugs, the one that put him in me, the snakes, the grass, too long to see. The lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. It's right there, just mow that grass and you'll see the snakes.
Yeah.
He also revealed something chilling. He believed the devil approached him while he was in Arizona. He said he loved the peace and beauty there, until something dark happened. He never gave details, but he made it clear. Whatever he experienced made him never want to return. He said, I met the devil in God's country.
You've had a song on every album, a conversation with God.
Yes.
You've had...
And a prayer.
And a prayer, and I think you've had...
3 conversations with the devil.
3 conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. I said, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
That moment marked a turning point in how he saw the industry, and the signs became even harder to ignore after that. DMX believed the industry was more than just corrupt. It was spiritually dangerous. He saw it as a battle between good and evil. On every album, he included prayers or gospel-inspired songs, like Lord, Give Me a Sign, where he cried out to God for strength. He wasn't hiding his beliefs. He was putting them front and center. And yet, instead of being respected for his honesty, he was mocked, labeled as troubled, and pushed aside.
You've had, I guess I would call it a gospel song, or certainly
gospel song and a conversation with the Lord on every album.
On every album. Lord, Give Me a Sign. I pulled some of those lyrics out. Tell me what these lyrics are and what they mean.
It's a conversation with the Lord.
I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now, I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. I'm still going through it, pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the pain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to, but all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will know no shame, spit it right from the heart, because it's right from the start that you held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign.
Even in death, the media didn't show him the respect he deserved. When DMX passed in 2021, headlines called him a troubled rapper, ignoring the bigger message he tried to share. Meanwhile, figures like Diddy, with heavy rumors swirling, were still praised and awarded. The contrast was painful. DMX never had public accusations of abuse, predatory behavior, only run-ins tied to addiction and pain. Yet, he was treated like the villain. But what DMX and Katt Williams faced wasn't just about image, it was about control. At the heart of it all, DMX and Katt Williams were fighting the same battle, against an industry that demands silence in exchange for success. Both men refused to play the game. They wouldn't sell out, wouldn't bow down, and wouldn't stay quiet. And because of that, they paid a heavy price. They were branded as unstable, arrested, dragged through the media, and treated like outcasts. But the truth is, they were trying to warn us. And now, with everything coming to light about Diddy and others, their words are finally being taken seriously. It's not just about fame or money. It's about power, control, and what people are willing to trade for it. DMX and Katt called out the fake friendships, the shady deals, and the hidden abuse. They exposed the dark side that so many pretend doesn't exist. And now, as more lawsuits and accusations surface, we're starting to see that maybe they weren't crazy. Maybe they were the only ones telling the truth. In the end, both men reminded us of one powerful message: you have to choose a side. As Katt once said, it's either God's side or the other side. DMX made his choice. Katt made his too. And now it's up to us to listen, learn, and stay aware. If you're just now connecting the dots, don't worry, you're not alone. Hit that like button if you're starting to see things differently. And drop a comment below. Do you think DMX was telling the truth from the start? Let's talk about it.